Hi, today we're going to be talking about QR codes. QR codes coupled with short links are incredibly valuable. And so as they're getting adopted more and more every day, it's really important that we're looking at the best practices, making sure that we're using QR codes the way that they're meant to be used, and really the way to maximize that value. So I'm going to show you a bit of information here and quick examples inside of BL.INK and talk about how you can implement this in your organization. So I want to start out here clicking on my new link. So I'm going to choose a branded link. And in this case, so I'm going to go ahead and paste in my URL. And again, it has all the different attribution variables, all my UTM parameters. And in this case, for my keyword, I'm going to go ahead and change this to QR-test. And I won't fill out any description. I'm not going to use the URL builder here. We'll cover that a little bit later. But again, I'm going to create this link, super simple. Now that my link has been created, over here on the right-hand side, I can download this QR code. So I can choose to download a PNG, an EPS, or an SVG. Different reasons for different versions, but those three different options are available. So when I click on that, I can download it. I instantly have a QR code that's going to point to my short link. In this case, it's blink.news/QR-test. Now, the reason that this is so important is that the QR code, if I were to update the URL that's in the QR code, it's going to generate a new QR code. And the problem with that is that QR codes are meant to be printed in most cases. So if you're printing this and putting it on, say, a cereal box or some kind of direct mail campaign or any kind of print material where that cannot be updated, changing that QR code is really impossible. And I'm sure that everyone here has scanned a QR code that went to a broken page or a campaign that had ended, or for whatever reason it was a bad experience. But because we're using a short link in our QR code, we can easily come back in here and we can edit this. So I can come back in here and change my campaign. Let's say instead of going here, I just wanted to point to our blog. So I'll go ahead and type in our blog address. And so now when I come in here, and I'll go ahead and leave the URL the same. So again, we're going to keep the URL for the short link the same. When I update this, my QR code is not going to change, but my destination is. So that means that the QR code that I have in print that might be printed on millions of different items doesn't change. And so it's safe, it's secure, and I can now route that to a different location. Now, when you get into our dynamic link routing, and we'll cover that in a different video, but dynamic links allow you to create destinations based on day, date, time, language, geography, or device. So now think about how we couple that with the QR code. So if I'm scanning that QR code and I'm scanning it on, say, iPhone versus Android, or my language for my browser is set to English versus Spanish versus German versus French, I can route it to a different landing page. It could be date based, where if a campaign is ended, rather than going to campaign A, I now go to campaign B. So all those things coupled in with QR codes give you tremendous insight and value in terms of how you're interacting with your audience, making sure that you're truly delivering that surprise and delight experience. Now, in terms of QR codes, there's also the question around analytics. So because we're using our short links in our QR codes, you're going to get all the exact same type of analytics around that. So you're going to see all the same click by day, click by hour, click by location. So geographically, where's your traffic coming from? I can all the way down to the city level. I can tell what devices people are using. So again, are they using iPad or iOS, iPhones? Are they using Android? So really getting down to the nitty gritty, the details. And again, it's all done in real time. So super helpful and super powerful. So when you're looking at QR codes, uh, even though you can create them and they're easily available from just about anywhere, the important part is that when you're creating those QR codes, that you're using that short link inside of it. And again, also the branding aspect. So when you scan that QR code, when you're first putting your phone up to the QR code and it's showing you that preview in the camera, the very first thing it's going to do, it's going to show you the domain name that it's tied to the QR code. And so in this case, my URL would be blink.news. So when I put my phone up to scan that QR code, I'm going to see blink.news. So I can tell right away if I'm scanning something related to Blink, I now have that trust. Similar to when you're doing a short link in your SMS messages, same thing goes with the QR codes. I now see I'm not pointing to some random URL shortener or some random website that I don't have any affiliation with and don't know what that really is. I see that that brand is associated directly with the content I'm wanting to engage with. So it's incredibly helpful making sure you're getting much more trust, much more confidence, and much more engagement in your links. So again, as a quick recap, when you're using QR codes or short links, they are editable and you can change them at any point in time without updating that QR code. You can also get real-time analytics. So you're seeing exactly what's going on with that campaign in the moment that it's happening. You can also look at the value overall of being able to have that dynamic flexibility of changing the destination based on the different variables and parameters that you have for that campaign. And because you can change it at any point in time, you can update it either once from one place to the other, or you can implement that dynamic aspect much further down the road. tremendous portability, tremendous value, and tremendously easy to implement when you're looking at BL.INK. Thank you very much and have a great day.